Hello everyone and welcome to another video on my channel, and today I'm going to talk about something I was really excited for since the first Sonic movie. It's Sonic 3, It came out on the 20th, like other countries, but here in Brazil it released on the 25th, right on Christmas. Couldn't watch it on Christmas, of course, but I went to watch it yesterday on the 26th, and like it's just so good. It's so amazing. And like I said, I was excited about this movie since the first one, because like not only there's like Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, but there's also Shadow now, and like Shadow is just it's fucking Shadow, right? And there's also all the references to the games and all the little details that show up sometimes that are just amazing. But I want to like make this video without spoilers. Like there's like spoilers from here to here. So the first part of the video will be without spoilers, just me talking about what I think of the movie. And I think it's great. It is amazing. Like it is, like the other ones, it's a kids movie, so a lot of the most of the humor is just silly little jokes. There's nothing like I'm pretty sure there weren't like mature jokes or adult jokes, stuff that kids wouldn't really understand. So it's just basic silly little goofy jokes, and like the movie's fun, right? It's fun to watch and it's very entertaining. Like we have Jim Carrey, uh, I guess it's not really a spoiler. I think some of the trailers, but have Jim Carrey interpreting like two Robotniks, and like that's really fun, right? We also have all the shenanigans going on with Sonic and Team Sonic, right? As said on the movie, which is like Team Sonic from Sonic Heroes, and also some little jokes with Shadow, with other characters. And the movie is great. Like it's very fun. It's a comedy movie. It's good, but it's also very like serious. It has serious tones to it because like Shadow's story is sad, it's tragic, right? I guess if you played like, Sonic Adventure 2, you probably won't mind this spoiler, I guess, from the game and from the movie. But Maria dying and all that's like sad, tragic. Uh, he Shadow being like this creature from space that was being tested and stuff. His only friend that died. She didn't die like in the games where she gets shot, but still, right? It's not as dark, but it's still dark, right? And we like the movie overall is like good, right? That thing where like movies, they always write movies and stories, right, in a way that like it links to the end, right? Like some stuff that happens at the beginning, it's like talked again at the end, or influences the end of the movie, and it's satisfying, it's good. Like it is the story we know from Sonic Adventure 2, but it's different as well, right? There's some differences that they needed to put in the movie because you don't have all the characters from the games. I'll talk more about it in the spoiler section of the video, but like we don't have all the characters, so need to do some alterations, right? And I think it's great. Like the movie, like something that caught me kind of off guard is how fast the movie goes, right? Because it doesn't have the introduction where it's like just the characters being silly, goofy, and then it has a slow progression to Shadow shows up, and then the movie starts. After like 30 minutes or 20, it's like right out of the bat, like Shadow shows up. It's that scene in the trailers where like Shadow is in the tube, cryogenic tube, and he frees himself by punching. Then there's that reference where he kicks the guard's head, reference to the Shadow game, and like this is something really nice as well about the movie, the references to the games, like at the beginning, kind of spoiler, yes, if you don't want any spoilers, but like at the very beginning of the movie, like Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles are racing against each other, and like Tails uses some holograms because they're doing like a birthday, but Earth Day, for Sonic, and like the holograms just like when Sonic gets to the finish line, it's like the goal, so it spins like in one of the original 3 games, uh, and then Tails and Knuckles are just waiting. Like if I believe it's in like other Sonic games as well, but I remember Sonic CD more, where like if you just let Sonic standing there, he waits and tap his feet, and they were waiting like that, the holograms. So it's really fun, and there's like so many little references. Like spoiler for like it's a scene in the trailer as well, but like there's that reference to the Shadow game, right? When like Shadow beats Sonic up, and then Sonic would slowly rise and then fall, right? Like in the game, right? The game's intro cutscene, uh, like all these little references, they are so cool, right? To notice, and like it makes the movie more special, right? And it's just like it makes like people, us fans, like really happy that these little references are there. And yeah, like the movie is very fast, as I was saying, like from start to finish it's just boom 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 stuff happening, right? There are like some slower scenes, of course, but the movie overall is just fast. Like we don't have like a full section of a wedding. Like I do personally, I think that scene is kind of okay, right? In Sonic 2, where like Sonic's family, at the wedding, they try to save Sonic and Tails, but still, we don't have that, right? It's always like Sonic's family all together, right? Sonic team, Sonic's family, and all. They're always together, new stuff together, and there's always action going on. There's always something interesting with the characters. We don't have like side characters taking space on the movie and stuff. We do kind of, but it's not in a way that takes away a lot of the movie, like that wedding scene and the rescue stuff on Sonic 2. But anyway, it's overall just better. Like it is better. I was watching like the little behind the scenes video that showed up to me. Like it is bigger in scale, right? There's like the whole, like if you play the Sonic Adventure 2 game, the whole Earth is at stake there. The story of the movie, right? And like there are 2 Robotniks, and there's also Shadow, right? So like it's a way tougher battle, right, for Sonic and everyone. And like that's just so cool. It's just so good. It's such a wonderful movie, dude. Like I can't get into much details because the big spoilers. I'm trying to hold myself here on what I can say or not, but like so good. It's such a well done movie, right? It's like the first movie is more like that, kind of like that traditional, like alien buddy type of movie, right? With some Sonic stuff, which is like the first and second movie are great, right? I personally really enjoyed them. And like one is more like, a trip with an alien buddy. Woo, let's know each other, right? But it's Sonic, right? So there's a lot of cool stuff. And Sonic 2 is more like there's more characters. There are more alien buddies, right? So it kind of still has those moments of like stuff that doesn't really add to the story. It's just like a fun little scene, right? Because it's kids movie and all. But Sonic 3, like this is just perfect, right? It's like it really feels like each movie builds up to the next so well, right? Because like Sonic 1, awesome. Sonic 2, like Sonic 1 build up, teased Tails, and Sonic 2 just awesome, right? Way better than the first. Sonic 3 is just like if Sonic 2 was here, Sonic 3 would be like all the way up there, Like it's incredible how much better it is. Not in a bad way. Like the first 2 movies are great, but the third one is just so much, like such a spectacle, It's really great. As a fan of the Sonic franchise, I was really excited to watch this movie. I really wanted to watch this movie today, because I won't be able to like I'm gonna end of the year trip, so I can't watch it until next year, right? So I want to watch it while it was releasing, right? And like it's so good, it's so awesome, it's so great, and I highly recommend like if you know Sonic and have kids and you watched all the other Sonic movies, like go watch this one because you know you already watched two. Why not a third that is better? Or if you just like the Sonic franchise, if you love Sonic, if you like Sonic, if you know Sonic, like watch it. If you haven't watched one and two, of course. Like it's just so great. It's so awesome. It's such a like it's really well done, right? The only thing I feel like it's not really, it wasn't bad, right? Because I had to watch it, Brazilian dubbed, because since it's kids movie in the theaters, the only option we have is dubbed for kids movies and stuff like that. So I couldn't watch it with Keanu Reeves and everyone else's voices, right? But it's still like, this is now props to the Brazilian dub team. They again did a really really nice job. There are times where their lip sync wasn't that great. There were times that like the voice is kind of weird, but overall, I think was good. Right, it was really really good. The dub was really well done. So props to everyone, and like props to as well. Props to everyone who worked on the movie. Right, to making it. Like the director, the voice actors, actors and actresses, the like everyone involved in the movie. It's such a well done job, and I'm just so happy. I'm so happy to be a Sonic fan right now because it's so good. Like this whole year, right? So good, especially if you are a fan of Shadow, right? Because it's the fearless year of Shadow, right? So it's just great. Like I haven't played Sonic X Shadow Generations because it's too goddamn expensive here in Brazil, and I'm avoiding all spoilers regarding Shadow's story because I played Sonic Generations like a lot, but the Shadow part I don't really know. But seeing Shadow in the movies it was so great because like the art style, right? This is something I'm going to talk about in the spoiler section as well. The art style for the characters, like the way they are animated and all, with that realistic feel without giving up on the cartoonish side, it's so great, right? And like it's really good. Shadow looks amazing. Shadow is cool. He's awesome, right? And it is a good movie, right? I recommend everyone watch it, and I'm definitely gonna watch it again at some point when I can. But yeah, now when I start talking about it with spoilers, it's like now with spoilers, I'll talk more overall. So as I was saying, the move is very fast. Doesn't lose time, right? It's like 110 minutes, it's like almost 2 hours. It's like 2 hours of pure well done cinema, absolute Sonic cinema. And it like the story, I kind of like when I watched Sonic 2, the movie, I kind of built a story in my head for the third one. I thought like maybe it would be a mix of Adventure, Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, and like at the end, like it would involve Shadow and also Perfect Chaos, which would be messy to say the least because it had two villains and need to build them up both. But and like we had to build up everything regarding Sonic Adventure 2 and Sonic Adventure 1, with Perfect Shadow and all. Perfect Shadow is perfect, but Perfect Chaos. So it'd be messy, very messy. But like this story was like you'd have all this build up regarding Shadow and Perfect Chaos being villains, but then at the end of the movie, Shadow would come around and he would be like he and Sonic would turn super and they would fight Perfect Chaos. And would be like a mix of Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, but that would be messy, very messy to put in a movie, right? So like I kind of built that story up after watching the second movie, but I knew it probably wasn't gonna happen, right? But anyway, coming back to the actual movie, not the movie I built in my head, but overall, like so the movie itself is all about Sonic Adventures 2 story. Like we have like Shadow escapes prison because Eggman's grandpa hacks, and free Shadow, helps free Shadow. Then Shadow's just full of grief and hatred towards humanity because Maria died, and not because like as was like she doesn't die being shot at. It's like the guard shoots that general commander. I don't remember his title, but that old man from a gun like tries to hold the soldier with the gun, and then the soldier shoots up an energy tank and it explodes, and then like Eggman's grandparent and Shadow are like sad because Maria died. They both get imprisoned for 50 years, right? And like Shadow is pissed and hates humanity. There's no Maria speech about to Shadow like don't hate humanity. She's saying something like that before she dies. I thought there was gonna be something like that, but there wasn't, which makes sense because there's no Amy Rose in the movie. So I mean, yet there's no Amy Rose yet in the movies. So you're gonna have Amy talking to Shadow, being, "Hey Shadow, do you remember what Maria actually said?" And then, oh yeah, that's true. She said to love humanity. I'm dumb. So he like there's no dialogue. There's no dialogue. There's no Maria doesn't say anything to Shadow. She just becomes a friend of him, like in the games, and they stay together, right? Beautiful relationship, friendship, and then like he's pissed off. Then Shadow's Eggman's grandpa like makes a plan to get Sonic Team and the actual Eggman who didn't die. And I was like, my sister went into the movies like thinking, how are they gonna explain him not dying? And they don't explain. But I was thinking about it, and like in the games they also don't. Like Eggman, like Sonic like Sonic 3 and Knuckles, like the egg spaceship, egghead spaceship, literally gets just blown up multiple times, but gets blown up, falls to the earth. He's flying in space with a robot that gets destroyed, and he doesn't die any of those times. Why? Because he's the bad guy. He has to come back somehow, right? So they don't explain how he dies. And that's kind of like in the game sometimes, but they don't explain how Eggman doesn't die. But Eggman's just like sad, and it's watching novellas and just getting fat and eating a lot. And then like he teams up with Sonic, and then they fall into his grandpa's trap. And then the two Eggmans get together. Sonic gets trapped. They almost get sucked by a fucking black hole that Shadow summons. And in true Edgelord fashion, he's like, "This is what's inside of me," or like, "This is what inside of me looks like." And then he energizes Eggman thingy, and then it creates a black hole. Maybe that's a reference to to Shadow's black hole. What I mean? I only thought that because there's a certain artist on the internet who talks about Mpreg in the Sonic franchise, and it's kind of funny, but also weird. Anyway, after Shadow's black hole almost sucks everyone, they managed to avoid the situation. That's kind of a bummer when it comes to like it being a kids movie and also a hero movie. You like know things are gonna go right, so every time there's like oh my god, they're almost gonna die, you just know they aren't, right? They aren't gonna die, except for like if you play the games like Shadow's final sacrifice, like you kind of think, oh, he died, and that's sad. He actually died, but not because Sonic Heroes. He comes back, Eggman saves him and puts him in a cryo chamber or something, and he's actually alive, and then have the whole stuff in Sonic and Shadow the Hedgehog where, oh, you're actually a clone, or are you, all that shitty ass wacky stuff. Anyway, but like then it's also explained in a flashback I don't remember if it's while they're exploring that stuff. And also thought it was kind of funny how, like, Knuckles is scared of ghosts. Uh, and that scene where Shadow was just showing up. Everyone was like trying to look at something. Then when they turned back, Shadow was just like standing there. Like that shit was fun. Because Shadow was just like boo. It's just weird, right? It's funny, wacky, uh, and like I don't remember when exactly this flashback happens, but there's a flashback that shows like that talks how Shadow came from a meteorite, and that meteorite has the shape of those alien demon genies from Shadow game and Shadow X Sonic X Shadow Generations. Uh, it has like that kind of like that star shapes kind of, but like this because it's a meteorite and then has kind of like tail. I try finding an image, but whatever. And then like that meteorite looks like those alien demon genies type of stuff. Game theory is correct. Shadow is a genie, and I kind of like that theory. It's kind of fun, but also like kind of in the movie he's an alien, right? But he could be an alien genie, right? Uh, but anyway, end of theories. Uh, like that, I thought it was really cool because it kind of, says that maybe those guys are gonna show up, from the Shadow game. So gotta keep an eye out for that. Maybe they'll be involved in the next movie or one after that. I don't know, but that was really cool. Flashback is also nice seeing like it's also cool seeing the Shadow like soft side, like when he was with Maria, because like that's kind of who Shadow is, right? He is also like cares about people. He's nice to people, uh, in his own way, of course. But because of the things he went through, he's cold. He's more like less talkative and all of that. He's serious and all of that. So it's kind of nice seeing his softer side in the movie as well. And I think, like, I'll be honest, this version of Shadow is good. It's like a really good version of Shadow because you have those versions like if you know the IDW comics, you have the Metal Virus saga, the arc, Metal Virus arc, where like Shadow's just completely stupid because he's like, oh, we gotta fight these guys. They have a virus that if you touch them, you get infected. And like Shadow is, he's faster than Sonic. He's stronger than Knuckles. He actually is in the movie. In the games, that's kind of a debate and all. But Shadow is the the ultimate life form. So he is stronger than Knuckles and faster than Sonic, probably, maybe. But he's like really strong. He would be a really strong ally to have, but he just decides to fight the metal zombies and gets infected and gets transformed into a metal zombie. So dumb version of Shadow there. There's also some other versions of Shadow, like in the Shadow game. He's kind of all over the place, kind of, because he can be a hero. He can be an evil guy. He can be he's all over the place. Whose Shadow character is, and Sonic Adventure 2 nails Shadow perfectly since it's the game he's first introduced at, and like the movie also nails Shadow perfectly. In my opinion, it's such a good portrait of Shadow as like a character, and shows his whole like his sentimental part, his like fighter side, his angry side and all that. So it's like a really good version of Shadow. And then like we have the whole scene where like they need to infiltrate the gun's main base, main building. And I thought that was fun as well. It's the like the most human characters, side characters doing stuff, but it's meaningful. It has a purpose. Like that's why I didn't get too mad at the that part that happens in Sonic 2, because it has kind of a purpose. They're rescuing Sonic and Tails, so but in this movie it has a bigger purpose, right? And it's more well done. Like, it is better, right, than in Sonic 2 and Sonic 1. The scene where they're infiltrating the HQ, right? And there's also the whole scene where they are in the, like, there's the scene with Eggman's dancing, which was really fun and all. We also have that cool scene of Sonic trying to make it through the energy field, and then Tails comes up, spins it around, and throws him. That was nice. But like that scene where they are like in the gravity, the changing room, is also fun. And I do think it's cool how they made Sonic get pissed, right? Because it's not just, oh, Sonic gets pissed for Shadow out of nowhere. Like, he decides to turn super out of nowhere, right? It's kind of done in a nice way, where they miss one of the keys they need to activate or to prevent the Eggmans from activating the Pestropolis. The Pestropolis, right? And like Tom, I believe Tom's the name of the guy. He tries to get it back by pretending he's the general or commander who died earlier in the movie. He pretends to be him, like, after recovering. Like, he recovers it, tries to go back to Sonic and everyone, but Shadow sees Tom disguised as the guy, because Tails creates that disguise thingy. So Shadow sees him, and that general is the one who tried holding the soldier who wanted to shoot Maria and Shadow and the doctor, right? He tries to hold him, but ends up making the soldier shoot an energy tank by accident. So like, Shadow gets angry at him and punches him, right? But before Tom can, which it was really just doing this and pressing like the button on his neck, he would like show, hey, I'm not the guy. But he was like, wait, what the fuck? So he gets punched by Shadow, and since he's like pretending to have his arm broken, his arm actually gets broken because Shadow punches him like in the area, right? And the energy from the impact, because Shadow comes in hot, right? And the energy, sends Tom flying. Tom's like passes out, blacks out. And like, Sonic just, gets there to be like, hey, Tom, where are you? And then he sees Tom like almost dead, right? And he gets like sad and emotional. And then I believe it's like, he then looks at Shadow and is like, what the fuck did you do? And then Shadow kind of taunts him, right? To see what choice he will make after losing a loved one, because Tom doesn't die. Lord Donut can't be mad. But then, Shadow taunts him to see what choice will he make after seeing his loved one almost dead. And then everyone comes around. They try to take Tom to the hospital. But in that moment, Sonic is like, I want to transform into Super Sonic to stop them. That's the only way, because he's angry. He wants to stop them at whatever it takes, right? Even though they agreed earlier in the movie that they wouldn't use the Chaos Emeralds, right? The Great Emerald, to turn Sonic into Super Sonic, because that would be not the right choice to make. But Sonic is angry. He's pissed. He wants revenge, just like Shadow wants revenge because of what happened to Maria. And the old Robotnik also wants revenge. So Sonic, he's like, Knuckles, where is the Great Emerald? I need it. And then Knuckles like, it seems like they're gonna fight. I really thought that there was gonna be a little fight scene at that point, but there isn't, because Knuckles is just like, whatever, man. It's guarded by this impenetrable, fierce warrior with like Wade. He didn't show up even once in the movie, and up until that point, and he was playing hockey with the Great Emerald, which comedic effect. And I haven't watched the Wade show, because it's more of a Wade show than Knuckles show. I haven't watched that because I don't have that streaming service available, so no payment for that. So I didn't watch it. So I don't know how exactly Knuckles hands the Master Emerald. It's Master. I was saying Great Emerald. I forgot. the I don't know how that happens exactly, but Sonic just goes there, takes the emerald because what's Wade gonna do, and then he just transforms into Super Sonic. And I was like, damn, he transforms this early. Because I thought it was gonna be like, because in Sonic Adventure 2, they only transform when they're gonna fight the last enemy, right? A ginormous lucky creature, right? And like that creature gets referenced in a movie that's Shadow Watch with Maria back when she was alive, right? I thought that was a cool reference. I believe it's that creature, but I thought, damn, he transforms this early, and I was like, that's so cool because it's more supersonic. One thing I was like, when Sonic 2 happened is supersonic, right? He shows up, goes all badass, like almost turns into like a Fleetway supersonic moment where he seems like he's gonna, try to kill everyone, and he just spawns a hot dog. So like I saw that and I want more supersonic. I want more supersonic. So like it's so cool that there's more supersonic, right? And then like he transforms, goes flying to space because Eggman, the two Eggmans and Shadow are already on the Pistropolis that is gonna hit the fucking Earth. And then there's a little fun scene. There's like old Robotnik tells Shadow's like, is this really what Maria would want? And then old Robotnik is just like, it's not about what she wants, it's what they deserve. It's about what they deserve. So he goes like, remember what you lost, what they made you lose. And then Shadow is like starts spinning to power up the Pestropolis, right? That scene was cool too. And then after it powers up, they see Supersonic coming, and then like they see it slowly, like faster than a missile, way faster than a missile, but kind of slowly approaching. Then suddenly, boom! Right, he just darts off when he spots Shadow on the Pistropolis, and he just fucking zooms. He goes straight through the spaceship, right? And he grabs Shadow, and it's best. It's gonna be the fight scene, right? And then like it's this scene is so fucking good, dude. I really like. I came into the movie hoping there was gonna be like at least. I knew there was gonna be Supersonic and Super Shadow, but I didn't think it would be that early in the movie, and that there would be a scene, right? That was like so cool. And then like Tails grabs Shadow, goes back to Earth, and then like that was kind of like, I thought there's no way Shadow's just gonna 1v1 Supersonic, right? Because like even though Shadow can teleport around, it's kind of in a situation I think kind of similar, but not so similar to like Super Saiyan Goku, like Blue Kaioken times 20 Goku against Hit, where like even though Hit was like teleporting around because he could stop time, Goku was still faster enough to block, right? Because like the difference is that Goku was predicting based on his combat experience. He was predicting where Hit would be, and Sonic doesn't have that much combat experience with Super Sonic, because he only used it once against an easy enemy, right? Easy enemy. So like I thought there's no way Shadow's just gonna 1v1 Supersonic, right? Like he's gonna get his ass beaten. But then like Shadow like disappears, teleports behind Sonic. Nothing personal, kid. Kicks Sonic or slaps. I think he kicks, but I don't remember. Maybe he slaps. But like he hits Sonic. I believe Sonic comes back, and like at that moment I thought there's like at that moment I thought there's no way Shadow's gonna do something about it. But then Shadow, much like Knuckles in Sonic 3, like the original Sonic 3, he just boom does an attack that makes Sonic go like and then Sonic goes, the Chaos Emeralds just Sonic goes in the Chaos Emeralds stay, and I thought like that's probably a reference to Sonic 3, right? But I thought like Like at first, I thought it was like there's no way, but then I remember Knuckles literally did that in the game, so I thought, I guess. But like, it's so surprising, right? Like Super Sonic could easily beat Shadow, but then Shadow just doesn't try to fight. He tries to like, fucking exercise Super Sonic, and then the Chaos Emeralds float there, and then like they both reach, and at that moment I was like, no way, no way, it's happening, and it happens. Like they both turn super, like they're supersonic. He's like, yeah, I managed to transform, but then he's like, oh no, and he looks back, and there's super shadow, and it's so cool. Like Shadow, like it's like in the games, like where he's more like his golden aura is more like it's wider than Sonic, and he has the red stripes still. While Shadow, like while Sonic is like full golden, he's like more white golden with the red stripes, and I was like freaking out, dude. Like I was like, there's a lot, so much better than I expected. And then they start fighting and they go all over the place, right? Fighting, and I like that was so. I wish that fight lasted longer, but I understand why it wouldn't, because it's probably hard to animate that. But like it's such a it's such a cool fight, right? And then like there's a little scene with the two Eggmans and all. Then it goes back to the epic fight, and then Shadow is like, you chose the same thing as me. You lost a loved one and you made the same choice as me. And then who was it that you lost? Oh, I think his name was Dawn. And then like Sonic is like so fucking pissed. And at that moment, I thought it was cool, right? Because like earlier in the fight, Sonic goes to punch Super Knuckles, and like Super Sonic goes to punch Super Knuckles and Super Shadow actually, and then like Shadow just blocks, right? And that was really cool, really badass. But now I thought like the fight was gonna last a bit longer, but Sonic will have the upper hand because he's angrier now, since Shadow talked about Tom. But like Sonic just fucking flies and fucking gives Knuckles straight in the face, like, and they go flying to like Shadow literally goes flying to the moon because of that punch. It's so cool. It's such a cool scene. Like it goes bah, and then there's a fucking energy blast, and Shadow just goes flying. So cool. And then Shadow falls on the moon, and he's like not super anymore. And Super Sonic shows up, and he like grabs Knuckles by the fur in his chest, which I thought was kind of weird and funny, but whatever. Then he grabs it and goes to like really wants to fucking bash Shadow's skull, but Shadow's like, "Come on, do it. I'm right here. Punch me in the face, end me." And then when he touches, like, he points at his own chest. Sonic remembers that thing at the start of the movie. Sonic remembers what Tom said at the beginning of the movie, like, you never changed what's here, what's inside of you, right? It never changed who you are, even though you made some good and bad decisions. Then Sonic, like, he's kind of like, shit, I shouldn't have done it. I abandoned my friends on Earth, all to come here for vengeance. And then, like, Shadow's like, oh, he didn't kill me. And then Sonic just sits there, kind of like regretting. And then Shadow looks up, sees the stars, remembers Maria. Then he's like, damn, the last time I saw the stars was when I was with Maria. And then, they have a little conversation there. And like Sonic says, like, you always have a choice. And then like Shadow goes like, oh, that's true. Shadow, in a moment of revelation, he goes, huh, I actually shouldn't kill everyone and destroy the planet Earth. Oh, Maria wouldn't want that. And then he decides to help Sonic. And like, I'll be honest, one thing I was thinking about before going to watch this movie was, this movie needs to have live and learn. Like, it is a must for the movie to be complete. It needed to have live and learn playing at some point in the movie, because it is the Sonic Adventure 2 song, right? It's the main theme. Like, it's like top one song. After it is Escape from the City, but Live and Learn is the Sonic Adventure 2, right? Like, because Shadow is living and learning, right? And especially like in the games, Sonic is also living and learning, but in the movies, he's live and learning even more, right? Because like he lost the owl who was his mother, a mother figure. Then he goes to a different planet, and then he starts building a new family there. Then Tails, Knuckles, so he's living and learning even more, and like it's just so good because he tells like Shadow like that the pain of losing a loved one never goes away, but like you learn that loving that person that you loved, like that person you love, even though they are not here, right? It's like they say, even though like the star still shines, even if they are already dead, the important thing is loving, right? It's loving the people we love, caring about them, and like even though the pain of them being gone doesn't go away, you still love them, right? You still gotta love them, and you gotta remember that, right? And like in that moment, Shadow, he's like he has the revelation, right? He starts thinking like, Maria wouldn't want this. Yeah, I shouldn't be doing this. I will help you, Sonic. I will help stop them. And then, like, as I said, like live and learn was a must. And then when like it was so good. Like Sonic grabbed, like extended his hand for Shadow. Shadow went up, and then like they were holding hands, and with the other one they did like this lap, because Sonic was turned super. No, I think like when they grabbed each other's hand again, they both turned super at the same time, and Live and Learn starts playing. Like I honestly, I cried at that moment. I'm not gonna lie, because like Live and Learn is such a good song, right? Like I cried. I cried. And at that moment I was like, yes, it is playing. Live and Learn is playing. And I was kind of sad, like the whole ending sequence wasn't just Live and Learn playing it in the background. Like that song has 4 minutes, right? So it could have a 4 minute end sequence with Live and Learn. We need it to be kind of fast, but still, right? Like personally, like Live and Learn playing was already good. Was already like so nice, because I played twice. What I like played 3 times at the beginning of the movie when Shadow's remembering Maria still in the cryo chamber. She plays like in the guitar, right? She plays some notes from Live and Learn, and then at the end of the movie, like when they turn super together, and it turns like that moment, like had me crying for real. It was so good. It was so good, and then it plays there. Then they go flying, right, back to the spaceship, and then there's a little moment where like the two Robotniks are against each other, because old Robotnik wants to destroy everything, including himself, like the whole Earth and himself. Wants to piss on the Earth and on himself, and the Robotic we know doesn't want that. He wants to rule the Earth. So they start fighting a bit, and then like cuts Live and Learn while it's playing in this Super Sonic and Super Shadow thingy, and then they had this little scene, and it goes back to Super Sonic, Super Shadow, and they like just like that. This part kind of remind me of the beginning of Sonic Unleashed. That beautiful cutscene, the best cutscene of any Sonic game. Maybe get like final cutscene of Sonic Frontiers, like the DLC stuff. Maybe that might be better, or maybe something Sonic X Shadow Generations is better. I still don't know, because I haven't played that game, the Shadow part at least. But like Sonic Unleashed, the beginning is still, it's like one of the best, if not the best cutscene in a Sonic game, personally. And like that scene in the movie remind me of that, because it's just Super Sonic and Super Shadow just going around destroying robots and fucking like it's such a nice scene as well. They fighting together, right? Helping each other destroy all the robots. And we see there's a scene where we see Shadow creates the Chaos Spears, right? With Chaos Control, and like creates the spears, like just triangles and fucking blast Chaos Spears, right? They blast the enemy. This is really good. And I don't know because I'm not sure if I heard it right, but if there's any at all. I'm not sure if that scene, that moment, like plays a bit of the melody for "Oh Hail Shadow." I don't know if that was it. That was something I wanted to notice more in the movie. More like, musical references, because maybe there were some subtle ones that I didn't notice because I was actively looking for Live and Learn, right, in the whole movie. But I don't know if there were other Sonic songs referenced in the movie or melodies that played, right? But then like they fly around, destroy all the robots and all, and the Pistropolis, like there's a little Eggman against Eggman scene again, like a little fight scene between the two. Old Eggman tries to kill young Eggman, and then actually young Eggman, since like he has the one of Sonic's quills, and like because Sonic turned super, the quills, golden, so it's full of energy, and he fucking shoves it up old Eggman's butt, and if old Eggman flies away and dies in like the chaos energy that Shadow used to power up the machine, the Pistropolis, and then the Pistropolis like, it's going to piss on the fucking earth, but then like Super Sonic and Super Shadow tries to stop it, and then like they try to, it's Tails, Knuckles, and Egghead, and the piloting the Pistropolis. They try to aim it, to the right or like away from Earth, while Super Sonic and Super Shadow are like trying to hold it, and then like Sonic is almost out of energy, but then Shadow pushes Sonic out of the way, and like at that moment, I like Sonic just floats in space, if I remember correctly, but Shadow's still out there, right? He's still going. It's like I thought he was like hit straight with the beam, and like he would die then, but I guess he just pushed both him and Sonic out of the beam's way. I didn't fully understand that, but I think he like pushed Sonic and like kept it and then moved away, right? But then the Pistropolis pisses on the fucking moon, right? And cuts the moon 1/4 of the moon, I guess, or something. But fucking pisses on the moon, and then Tails and Knuckles try to save Sonic, who is falling down the earth. Right? He's reaching terminal velocity, or like he's breaking the atmosphere, so he's fucking burning. He starts burning. That was crazy. And the meanwhile, like Eggman and Shadow like are trying to, stop the ship, and then Shadow's like, "You contain the energy. I push the ship away from Earth, the Pestropolis away from, because the plan was it's gonna fire the beam, and it's gonna explode right after, because he wanted to destroy the whole Earth and then die, right? The old Eggman. But then Shadow's like, you try to contain the energy. I will push it away. And then because it was gonna explode no matter what, so they push it away, and then it blows up, right? And that's Shadow's sacrifice. And before that, like Shadow removes his shackles, I guess, just like in Sonic Adventure 2, right? To go full power because he's not chained by his past anymore, right? And then he like removes the shackles and goes full power and pushes the thing away. That was really cool. And then apparently they both die, right? Eggman dies again, and this time there's no way he doesn't actually die, because he explodes instead of a ship in space. It's not like he doesn't fall from a robot, or it's like here, so he's probably gonna fall and like die, but then maybe he had something on his suit or something on the robot that would prevent his death. Like he fucking blew up in space, right? Him and Shadow, Super Shadow. And I don't know what happened with the Chaos Emeralds. that was a question I had. Like, what happened to the Chaos Emeralds? Because if Shadow was super, but Sonic wasn't falling on Earth, that means the Chaos Emeralds powers were on Shadow, right? He had the Chaos Emeralds at that moment. They were inside of Shadow. You know, what happened to them? Did they explode? Did they die? You know, did the Chaos Emeralds stop existing? Or did they blow up and get scattered across the universe? Like, what happened to them, right? Because apparently Shadow dies, Eggman dies because the shit ton of chaos energy explodes in space. You know, so there's no way they don't die. But what about the Chaos Emeralds, right? So that's something I'm gonna wait. Gotta wait for, you know, another 2 years until the next movie comes out. Because did you know Sonic 1 came out in 2020, Sonic 2 came out in 2022, Sonic 3 came out in 2024. So maybe Sonic 4, because there's gonna be a 4, thank God, my release 2026. If they keep this 2 year schedule, maybe they won't. Maybe they would put in 2027 to, you know, have more time to work. I wouldn't mind, but they, you know, how corporates go. So anyway, you know, Sonic team, you know, they all go back to Earth. They're like, hey, I'm sorry, guys. You know, Sonic goes like, I'm sorry, guys, and then they forgive him, and they hug, and then they go back to being a family because they race. They're gonna like go back to being a normal family, right? And then they go back to that race that they were, you know, doing at the beginning of the movie because, you know, they didn't finish the race, right? It was all a distraction for Sonic's birthday, so they are like, let's do this for real this time, and then they go and boom, right? They run in a little fun scene, right? And then it's kind of funny how like Sonic and Knuckles, they run like really fast. Like I believe Sonic is faster than Knuckles, right? But Knuckles is able to keep up, but Tails has to like fly and use like jetpacks to keep up. That was kind of funny. Maybe Tails is a Chatini, you know, maybe, you know, perhaps it might be a Chatini, but anyway. But then, you know, they like start racing and then boom, credits. And the credits are really nice because it's like a low poly version of the characters, right? Because it's the 3D era, the Dreamcast era, right? Like they also, like there's also super low poly Sonic and super low poly Shadow. And at the end of the post credit scene, just like in the you know Sonic Generation, Sonic Adventure 2, like in the earlier in the movie when they were both super on space, they do that thing where they like Sonic comes here and Shadow comes here, right? Classic shot, you know, of both of them, and like it is amazing, right? And then post credits, which I wasn't sure there was gonna be, you know, maybe like the other two movies had, so you know maybe this one will too. And it had, and it was way better than I thought it would be. It was amazing because I at the end of that movie I was like, okay, Shadow died. Like people had to wait from Sonic Adventure 2 to Sonic Heroes to learn how Shadow stayed alive, right? But apparently the movie he dies and Eggman also dies. So you know who would have kept Shadow alive or cloned Shadow, right? Because Eggman is dead. So how, you know, it can't be the same as the games, I guess, unless, you know, Eggman stays alive again somehow, which might happen obviously. But you know, that was something I was like, how you know, how are they gonna do that? How, like, is Shadow actually dead or is he gonna come back? Because in the like post credit scene, and I was also thinking like for Sonic Heroes, right, which is the next game, or maybe a game after that, like you need to introduce more characters. Like it couldn't just be the three of them, you know, in Sonic Heroes. I think like you know, so you need to introduce more characters, right? And they actually did it. Like in the post credit scene, it is like Sonic, you know, runs all the way to New York from like Green Hill City to New York. I don't know how far that is. It's probably like really far. It's across the country or something. I don't know. Like it goes all the way to New York and park in New York, and then like there he finds Metal Sonic, which I was like, no way, it's Metal Sonic? What? And I thought the post-credit scene was gonna be that. Like just Metal Sonic, right? Shows up behind Sonic and tries to shoot him, and then fades to black and it ends. But actually it doesn't. Like Metal Sonic tries to shoot Sonic and Sonic misses. Like Sonic, you know, avoids being shot and goes behind Metal Sonic to, haha, if you're gonna try to shoot the fastest thing in line, don't miss. And then a shit ton of other Metal Sonics show up, and I was like, what? Like who, like how, right? Because Metal Sonic was introduced in Sonic 3 or Sonic 3 and Knuckles, right? And after that, he shows up in the other games as well, right? Sonic CD and onwards, right? So, like, for them to introduce him now, like, who created him? Because it's not like, maybe, like, it will be, like, something that Eggman was planning while he was still alive, but it never kicked off. But now that he's dead, Metal Sonic is active for some reason. Or maybe, like, Eggman is alive and he created Metal Sonic in, like what, one day? A shit ton of Metal Sonics in one day. Or maybe, which, like, now I think it's more probable that it was like, oh, Robotnik was working on Metal Sonic before he died, but then he died, and then Metal Sonic was left alone, and then he, like, started multiplying, try and defeat Sonic, because that's the plot of Sonic Heroes, right? That the real villain is actually Neo Metal Sonic, right? And Metal Sonic's like a mastermind and all that. So, they introduce Metal Sonic and a lot of other Metal Sonics. That's the thing. The Metal Sonic, the first one shows up is blue. It has the colors and the design of the normal Metal Sonic, but the other ones that show up are all just like silver colored, right? Metal colored. They don't have blue. So it really is to, like, indicating that they are just copies, right? They are not the actual Metal Sonic. They're just copies from that one, or maybe even that one is a copy. Maybe like Neo Metal Sonic already exists. He's cloning Metal Sonics, like the way he used to look, and those Metal Sonics are being copied into other Sonics, Metal Sonics that are like just metal colored. Can that be like the general, or like, I don't know, the higher up, the general, and the soldiers, something like that, right? But then, not just Metal Sonic shows up, Amy fucking Rose shows up as well, and that was so awesome. I was like, what the fuck? Like, Amy Rose shows up, and she fucking, like, one swing of her hammer, she, like, destroys all the Metal Sonics that were there, like in in a sweep. Amy sweep, right? And then, like, she is like in a robe and a cape, and then Sonic's like, who are you? And then she takes off her cape, and, like, I gotta say, well, what I was talking about, the art style of the animation style, at the beginning of the video, like, Amy looks so adorable. Like, from that, like, of course we only have one shot of her, but, like, she looks like really cute. Like, she looks like Amy Rose, right? From the Amy Rose from the games, right? Not her classic design, right? Her modern design. And, like, she looks like Amy Rose, and she also looks like adorable. Like, that one shot is like she looks really cute. And, like, I was like, what the fuck? It's Amy Rose, with her big ass hammer. So I was thinking, right? Like, maybe because, like, in Sonic 1, they teased Tails and Knuckles showed up, right? So maybe they teased Metal Sonic and Amy, in, like, the next movie, like Sonic 4, is actually gonna be like Sonic Heroes type of plot. Like, there's gonna be new Metal Sonic, there's gonna be more characters, right? Like, maybe Shadow's gonna come back, maybe there'll be like Omega, Rouge, Big the Cat, Cream, Charles, Amy. Like, maybe there'll be a lot of more characters in the next movie. Like, that's like that. I gotta say, like, that final post credit scene got me so hyped. Got me so freaking hyped in the next movie. Just like seeing Shadow. Like in the first movie, you see Tails and you think like, oh, Tails, yeah, makes sense. And then in the second movie, you see Shadow, and you're like, oh my god, it's Shadow! It's Shadow! Ah! And then now it's not only Metal Sonic, a shit ton of other Metal Sonics, but also Amy Rose, and she looks so, like, so nice. The same way, like, Shadow looked badass in the post-credit scene, and you're like, holy shit, Shadow's badass. Like, you see Amy now on that post-credit scene, and you're like, holy shit, it's Amy! And she looks cute, right? And it's like, I'm so hyped now. Like, I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait for Sonic 4 now. And I really, really hope it's like has more references to the games, has more songs from the games, and vocal songs on the other games. And like I just can't wait, man. I liked so much this movie, so good. And like I said on Twitter, I really think like this is the best video game movie ever made so far. Like there's the Mario movie, the new Mario movie, which a lot of people said is good. I haven't watched it yet, but I don't know how. To me, there's no way. Like even like fucking Minecraft movie. Like I don't think there's a movie like on top of Sonic 3. Like it's just like so good. It's such a good adaptation, dude. It's so nice. The only thing I want to do now is rewatch the movie and also rewatch it, but in the original dub, right, in English dub. And like I can't wait for the next movie. I like want to thank everyone again that worked on the movie, that made this movie possible. Like thanks so much. This movie is so great, and I look forward so much to Sonic 4. I can't wait, and I hope it's even better, right? Just like how the jump from Sonic 2 to Sonic 3 was like immense. I hope the next movie is also like has an immense jump in like awesomeness. So yeah, this is probably not everything I have to say about the movie. Like it is just such a good movie, man. Yeah, I can't wait for more, right? So yeah, thanks everyone that watched. Maybe I'll add stuff in the comments, in the pinned comment. If I had more stuff to say about the movie. So yeah, thanks everyone that watched. It was probably a long video, but yeah, also like Merry Christmas, late Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year. And I freaking love Sonic, dude. It's so good.